I'll tell you honestly, I'm not running against crooked Hillary Clinton. I'm running against the crooked media. That's what I'm running against. So I think maybe what we'll do, maybe we'll start thinking about taking their press credentials away from them. You know? Maybe we'll do that. I think so. I think so.
You can tell based on the reaction from that crowd, they love that line. Donald Trump going after the media, saying his real opponents are reporters based on the coverage of his campaign. Is that the kind of strategy that will work for him? Frank Luntz, pollster and Fox News contributor, with me now out of L.A. And Frank, welcome back to America's Newsroom. You're in the business of words. So what should he be saying?
I don't think he should be saying that at all. And I understand that Trump voters love it. They love the fact that the media is being held accountable. But that's not going to move independents. That's not going to move undecided voters. In fact, there are 5 phrases that Donald Trump should be using. And, Bill, I want you to write them down. Viewers at home, write them down.
All right, hit me.
Let's show this clip the Monday before the election, because if Trump uses these phrases every day, I believe he'll be even or even ahead of Hillary Clinton the day before the election. But if he doesn't, I believe he will be unsuccessful. And number 1, you run against an inefficient, ineffective, unaccountable government. That is exactly what frustrates America the most about politics today, is that their hard-earned tax dollars are being wasted. Number 2, you run against the lobbyists, the loopholes, and the special interests. And that is something that Donald Trump talked about during the convention. It's one of the reasons why he was so effective. Number 3, you run against the bailouts, the handouts, and the cop-outs. The American public is absolutely livid that their hard-earned tax dollars went to CEOs and corporations that managed the money, did not time the economy correctly, and did a lot of damage and caused a lot of unemployment. Number 4, you run against the lack of common sense in Washington, D.C., because that's the attribute that business people bring to government. And finally, he should be using every single day the following statement: you work hard for your money. As president, I will work even harder to protect it.
And that last point's interesting. I mean, that's what he talked about in the very beginning when he didn't like how government spends his taxpayer money, and he set out to change it. I think you can make an argument that you don't hear it with that level of clarity since then, do you?
You don't hear that level of clarity. And frankly, the one moment that Donald Trump was ahead of Hillary Clinton was when he ran a prosecutorial campaign against her at the convention. Rudy Giuliani, Chris Christie, Scott Walker, Mike Pence, and Donald Trump himself. None of this other extemporaneous issues, none of this yelling about the media, no attacking anyone except for Hillary Clinton. And Donald Trump was leading all across the country, and some people even said that he was the odds-on favorite to win the election. What has happened over the last 2.5 weeks? Exactly the opposite campaign, where he has been unfocused, unclear, and definitely not holding Hillary Clinton accountable. That's been his mistake, and that's the reason why he has fallen, not just nationwide, but in the states that matter.
So the states that matter. Wall Street Journal on Friday afternoon came out with 3 head-to-head matchups: Florida, North Carolina, Virginia, and she's pulled ahead in each of those. I'm assuming that is to what you're referring, Frank.
That's exactly, and you can add some of the other states, not just Florida, North Carolina, Virginia, but you have to look at Ohio, you have to look at Pennsylvania. These are states that Donald Trump absolutely must win to get to 270 electoral votes. And those are the states that are angriest with Washington, angry with Wall Street. And let me give you one more example, Bill. Donald Trump wants to win over Bernie Sanders voters, a very smart strategy with real potential. But you don't do it by calling him Crazy Bernie. Bernie Sanders may be crazy, but if you insult the candidate that his supporters backed, they're not going to come and support you. Donald Trump says he's a man of words, that he focuses on what he says. Well, that's exactly what he needs to do.
Okay,
he needs to demonstrate
last point.
Between now and the first debate.
Politicians rate very low among Americans, right? You know, the media ranks very low among Americans. So then, you know, why would this strategy not work then?
Because they will agree with him, but that doesn't transfer into voting against Hillary Clinton. We may say that the media is biased. We may say that the media doesn't tell the truth all the time. We may say that the media doesn't give us the full story. But it doesn't matter how many people are attending a Trump rally or how energized they are. Nobody decides their votes based on that. They decide their votes on accountability, on wasteful Washington spending, on who is most likely to prosecute the lobbyists and special interests that are destroying the government that we pay for. That was Donald Trump's message when he was beating Hillary Clinton. It needs to be his message again.
From California Today. Thank you, Frank Luntz. We'll see you back in New York real soon.